Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a tree in the fall. And you're going to have two choices here. First, I'm going to show you how to draw a tree. And then I'm going to explain to you the difference between warm and cool colors and how we can apply them to make it look like your tree is full of leaves or like your tree has already lost all of its leaves. For right now, find a piece of paper and a pencil. I'm going to show you how to draw using a Sharpie just so that you can see a little bit easier, but you may wish to start with a pencil. Now, the first thing you're going to do from the bottom of your paper is draw two vertical lines side by side. This will be the trunk of your tree. And you can curve that from the bottom just a little bit. You can just draw another line. You don't even have to erase it because we will be filling this in at the end. So don't worry about having extra lines on the inside. The next thing you'll do from the top of your tree is draw a branch that goes off the edge of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a branch that way. Just one line for now and another branch this way. I made one branch look like it's higher and one branch look like it's a little lower. The next thing I'm going to do is somewhere in between here, I'm going to connect my branches so that they look like they're thicker. And when I do that, I'm going to start maybe about here, and then I'm going to draw my lines gradually getting closer to my first line. So it'll look like this. It'll gradually get closer so the branch looks like it's getting skinnier as it goes to the edge of the page. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. My branch is getting skinnier as it goes to the edge of the page. Great. Now, we could stop right here, but that's a pretty boring looking tree with only two branches. So let's add some more. The first thing you might want to do is add one more large branch, and that will look very similar to how we did our trunk, just a little bit narrow. And I'm going to make mine going off to the side a little bit. So I have one more branch just like that. And again, don't worry about this because we'll be filling this in later. Now I'm going to go ahead and for the rest of my branches that I draw, I'm going to draw them even skinnier. And I want them to go to the edge of my paper. And every time I draw my branch, I'm going to remember to make it skinnier as it goes towards the end. Great. And then sometimes you might want to draw a branch that maybe it doesn't go to the edge of the paper, maybe it just collides with another branch. That's okay too. None of my branches would really make sense to do that yet, but maybe on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and add some smaller branches here. It's a really skinny one. And maybe one more that comes down here. Okay. So once I have that filled in, I want to make sure I have some really small branches too. They look more like twigs. Okay. I like how that looks so far. We're doing well. Cool. So once you have your branches, then you can start to fill it in. And I recommend using a Sharpie if you have one. If you don't have one, you could just use a black crayon. Or if you really don't have those things, you can just use your pencil. That works too. It'll be like a dark gray color. Or you could use any dark crayon or colored pencil that you have. And that dark color will get rid of any extra pencil lines that you have. It'll cover it right up. So go ahead and pause the video while you fill in your tree. All right, once you have it filled in, unpause and let's begin. So I was showing you at the beginning of the video how you're gonna have warm and cool colors here. You're gonna be able to pick which one you want. If you notice, for my warm colors, I'm gonna be drawing some cloud looking tree lines underneath my first branch, and those will be filled in with warm colors. Warm colors are the colors that remind you of the sunshine. Those are my red, orange, and yellow will be my warm colors. But it's also all the colors in between as well. It's the yellow orange and the red orange and even sometimes pink. So I have some of those colors, and for the purpose of our autumn picture, you may choose to include brown in your warm colors. Now for cool colors, those are going to be your blue, green, and purple colors, but then again, everything in between. You're going to have yellow, green in there even, and some teal or blue, green, and purple, violet, all of those colors, okay? And I'm going to show you how we're going to use these colors. We're going to be able to make some gradients when we add these colors. A gradient is when it slowly shifts from one color to the next. So right here I have an example of a gradient that shifts from blue to purple. I'm going to show you how to blend those together. And in the ground here I have orange to yellow. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. Today I'm going to show you first how it would look if I wanted my tree to be full of leaves. So for that, I'm going to be demonstrating on this small guy for you. And I'm just going to start with the darkest warm color I have, which is this dark red. And I'm going to draw these lines that resemble leaves, whereas if it was full of leaves. And once I have that done, I'm going to turn my paper sideways so it's easier to color. And I'm just going to start by pressing dark right along the edge of that line that I did. And then as I go further up that space, I'm going to begin to press lighter with my pencil. And as I press lighter, I'm doing it gradually. My color slowly starts to get lighter. Now this is a shift in value. This is a little bit different than a gradient. A gradient is when it shifts between two colors. A shift in value is when it just shifts from dark to light. So that's like a bonus demonstration that I'm showing you. I'm going to show you a shift in value, and I'm also showing you a shift in a gradient. So right now you guys will be able to see what that looks like again by pressing dark first, and then as I am coming up I am pressing lighter. Oops, snagged the end of my paper there. Okay, so I have that gradient. Great. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how to shift between red and orange to begin. So I'm going to do the similar thing that I did down here. I'm going to start by pressing dark with my red, and as I come down this shape, I'm going to start to press lighter, and it's filled in. If I wanted to, I could leave it like this. I don't have to use gradients. I could just use a shift in value, but I'm going to show you how to make it look like it's blending from orange to red. So I'm going to press dark with my orange where I pressed light with my red. And as I get closer to the center, I'm going to press lighter. And those two colors will start to blend together. And I'm pressing lightly as I go over the red part now. And that shifts just like that. Okay. And I'm going to continue to do this by filling in the whole top part. I'm going to use all my warm colors, shifting yellow to lighter yellow, red to light red, orange to... Okay, and now I'm going to show you how to do the bottom. So for the bottom, you'll just be drawing hills using your cool colors and then blending in using some gradients. Okay, and you can add some extra shapes in the bottom as well. All right, now if you're looking to add yours so that it shifts, so it looks like the leaves have already fallen, you are going to, instead of drawing this kind of wavy line, you'll just skip that part, so it'll be an extra hill at the top there. So let me show you by using your warm colors at the bottom. So you're going to draw some hills. There you go. All the way up here. I want these last two lines to be similar in height. Okay, and you can divide that space up and start to fill in those gradients, okay? Those gradients and those shifts in value. So I'm just showing you by pressing dark with my red, and as I come down, I'll be pressing lighter as I come off the page. Great. And the end is very light. And then at the top, I'll show you how I'll be using my cool colors. So I'm gonna have, for the top, it'll look like it's the sky behind the tree. So I'm gonna use cool colors that remind me of the sky. So I'm gonna start just with blue. I'm gonna press kind of dark along this edge, this line, that's my hill, that's a red hill. I'm gonna press dark, and then as I come up towards the top of my tree, I'm gonna press lighter. So I'm pressing dark, following that curve, and then I'm pressing lighter as I go off my page there. Okay. And you're gonna just continue to do this, either using shifts in value or shifts in gradient. Okay? Have fun with this, guys.